everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today my family was craving a little bit of Bunjal pork, so I wanted to make this spicy and delicious recipe for you guys on my channel. This is not usually something we make all the time because it's a very rich and flavorful dish, but I decided to make it today and I wanted to take you along in the process. So I hope you all enjoy and I hope you all give it a try. So the first thing that I want to do is prepare my seasonings and my spice mixture. So in my bowl here, I'm going in with some homemade garam masala. Now this right here is my Grammy's recipe and I will have it linked in the description box right down below. And I'm also going to go in with some curry powder as well as some roasted ground cumin or geera. I'm going to go in with some freshly ground garlic. I'm also going to go in with some freshly ground hot pepper. This is wiri wiri pepper and hot chili peppers that I'm using, but use whatever kind of hot pepper you have on hand. And I'm also going to be going in with some fresh green seasoning. My recipe is very simple and I'll have it linked in the description box right below this video as well. Now into that spice mixture, I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit of water, just so this way I can bring everything together and allow everything to marry into a paste. So my spice mixture has been set aside and at this point I'm going to start to steam my meat. Now whenever I make curries, I don't always steam the meat, but when I'm making pork, I do like to steam it, because the meat sometimes has a very porky and a little bit of a rank flavor if you do not wash it and steam it properly. So into my pan, I'm going in with just a little bit of oil, and I'm also going to be going in with a little bit of garlic as well as some green seasoning. This is the main star of the show. This is my pork for my Bunjal pork. I am using some pork ribs that I had my butcher cut into little pieces, and I'm also going to be going in with what they called a camp roast in the grocery store. And to me, it really just looks like a very meaty piece of the pork and it only has a couple of bones running through. But all I went ahead and did is I took off all of the fat from the meat because naturally it has a lot of fat. And then I went ahead and I washed it very well with some salt, and I even added in some flour to draw out some of that rankness, and I let it drain off very well. All I'm going to do right now is stir up this meat with that garlic as well as that green seasoning. And I'm going to keep on stirring it down until it releases all of its natural juices and until those juices dry up and then the meat starts to brown at the bottom of the pot. Before I let this meat fully steam down, there's a couple more ingredients I wanted to add in. I'm going to be going in with some chopped green onions or scallions. I'm also going to be going in with some black pepper. I also want to go in with a little piece of a cinnamon stick. That's really going to help to cut the rankness from the meat. If you had a little tiny piece of ginger, you could also put that in because it helps cut the rankness. And I'm also going to be going in with a little bit of all-purpose seasoning. All of this is just for flavor. I'm also going to be going in with some freshly chopped onions. Now, I chopped up a big batch for the curry later on, but I'm just adding in some now to keep adding flavor and to help cut that rankness. So about 15 minutes later, this is what we are left with. We're left with some meat that has browned very well. All of those juices have released from the pork and all of the pork has dried back up. And this is how you know that all of that rank water and everything has burnt off. You want to make sure it starts to cling to the bottom of the pot and brown a little bit. I went ahead and I emptied that pork that was steaming in the pot. And when I emptied it, I poured it into a colander or a strainer. And I'm allowing any of that fat that was left over to drain off. At this point, to all of the drippings that are left in the pan, I'm going to add in a little bit of oil because now it's dry. And I'm going to add in my curry paste. All of those little brown bits that you see at the bottom of the pot, that is the seasonings that we added onto the pork, and a lot of those pork juices that have gone ahead and cooked down and caramelized. All of that is really good flavor that you want in the curry. So when I put this spice paste on, all of those beautiful drippings are going to go ahead and pick up from the bottom of the pot and give the curry a really nice taste. Once the curry cooks for like 2 minutes, we're going to go ahead and add in our chopped onions. If you wanted to chop these up or slice them like I did, do whatever you wish. Just going to stir these around and allow them to cook down with that curry paste until the onions are translucent and soft. And I find that the mixture is drying up a little bit, so I want to go ahead and add in a little bit of water just to pick up any brown bits from the bottom of the pot and to allow that curry to cook properly. So my curry mixture is cooked down for a good 7 to 8 minutes and it's nice and dry and it started to catch at the bottom of the pot again. So at this point, I'm going to add in that pork that we had steamed before. And once you add back in that pork, you're going to go in with some scallions that you chopped up, and you're also going to go in with some added hot pepper. Now, if you do not want the dish to be super spicy, do not add the extra pepper. And I'm also going to be going in with a little added ground cumin or ground geera. This is just going to bump up that flavor a little bit and keep on seasoning the dish. So I only let this meat fry up with the seasonings for about 4 to 5 minutes because we already pre-seasoned it and browned it and the curry is already cooked. At this point, I'm going to cover the meat with some boiling hot water. Now, I want this meat to be nice and soft and almost fall off the bone, so I'm covering it with water and I'm going to let it cook low and slow until it dries down and catches. As you all can see, this curry has a beautiful color even though we added in all of that water. This is what you want. You don't want it too dark, you also do not want it too yellow and too light. I'm going to cover this down and I'm going to let it continue to cook until that water dries up and the meat is soft. So after about 25 to 30 minutes, this is what I was left with. My meat was falling off of the bone. The gravy that was in that pot before had dried up very nicely and it was clinging to the meat and it was also sticking to the bottom of the pot a little bit. This would be perfect with some dal and rice. You can also eat this as cutters or like a little snack or an appetizer, but this is done. You can taste it for seasonings, add in salt, adjust pepper, whatever you want to do, but this is ready to serve and this is what it looks like. I hope you all enjoyed the video today. Please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed yet and drop those comments down below. If you do not eat pork, you can go ahead and replace this with any other kind of protein and you can make it that way. I have those recipes on my channel. They'll be linked in the description box down below. I'll see you all again with another one of my recipes. Bye everyone.